So most people do not realise how they feel day to day can come down, or part of it can come down to one nerve in the body. So whether you're feeling anxious, calm, wired, exhausted, it's all related to this one nerve. And that is your vagus nerve. You may have heard of it. It runs from your head, your brain, all the way down, connecting with major organs like your heart, your lungs, and your gut. And it helps with so many things. It's the longest nerve in your body, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I always think it is. So it's a major nerve in the body that helps get us from that frantic stress, fight or flight state back into that rest, relaxation, and calm where the body can heal and grow. And we feel safe, relaxed, and at ease. So even if you're feeling fine, you can still be in that fight or flight response, because after years of stress, whatever we do, sometimes the nervous system is switched into that fight or flight constantly in the background and we're not even aware of it. But the good news is we can reset our vagus nerve and help get the body into a nice calm state. Now, your vagus nerve also helps get your digestion system ready for eating. Like if you're being chased by a tiger, your digestive system's kind of switched off. So, you don't need to digest your food when you're being chased by a tiger. Like all your energy needs to go into your muscles and everything to get moving. So when we're in a fight or flight response, our digestive system sometimes doesn't work as well as it could. So when it's working really well and we're in that calm state, even when we start to chew and we're smelling the food and everything, the vagus nerve is already telling the digestive system, hey, we're safe to eat, let's digest this food. And so it actually helps get your digestive system ready to munch away, which helps get the digestive system working better. And then you're probably going to pull in more nutrients and do all the good stuff there, instead of maybe of it just going straight through, which is probably what happens when you're getting chased by a tiger. So I want to show you today one way of resetting your vagus nerve. If you Google this, you'll find a million ways, but I'm going to teach you the one way that I've learned that I find the easiest, and I've taught lots of clients to do it this way. And every time I talk to clients, I'm like, I really need to make a video about this, because I want to show everyone my video on how to reset the vagus nerve, because I think it's very easy. So this will help your body get into that lovely release of tension and into a nice calm state. So one thing this can also do is help release some tension in your neck. So we'll talk about that as well today, because I think that'll be fun. So let's look at the neck for a moment and let's play with it safely. If you've got neck injuries, obviously maybe not do this, but you know your body, and that's what we're talking about here, is learning to know what's going on with our bodies. So with your neck, we're going to move it and we're going to stop at the first moment of tension. Now if I go, I'm going to miss it, so if we move our head to one side, I'm just going to slowly start moving my head. And even about here, I'm noticing the slightest edge of tension. And when I get to another micro movement and I'm feeling a really little pull here, it is very subtle. Obviously, I tune into my body and other people's bodies for a living. So I'm programmed to notice these teeny edges of tension. You may need to practice this a little bit, but just move your head to the side until you feel I get to here and I feel a little tension here. So moving to my right, I'm probably getting to about 45 degrees maybe, ish, 35 degrees, something like that. Let's call it 40 degrees. Now try the other side and see how you get on. So as I move to the left, like immediately I'm feeling some tension down the left side of my spine. I don't even get to like maybe 10-15 degrees. So, you know, looking to my left just generally feels a little bit crunchier today than, and then my right, I just feel this wall. My left side doesn't feel too bad, but there's tension there immediately, whereas my right moves a bit, but then I'm hitting this kind of wall. So play with looking to the right and left. Pause the video if you want to take some time and really tune into that, because once we reset your vagus nerve, you will notice a difference, but you might want to write down or notice what's going on. Now, you can move your head forward down if you want until that first moment of tension. You know, I don't have to go very far before I'm feeling it in my neck. And I can go up, although don't throw your head back, because that you might give yourself whiplash. But yeah, I can kind of feel into that tension there. So test out your neck, see how it's doing, and then we'll, you know, also just close your eyes for a minute and take a couple of breaths and deep breaths and notice how you're breathing. How does it feel? Does it feel easier to breathe in than out, or out than in? You know, do you hit a wall with your breath? Just notice, just pay some attention to your breath. And notice where you're breathing. You know, a lot of people get taught to belly breathe, but your lungs come all the way up here. It's this bit of the body should move as well. Like everything, every part of the body should open and close really with the breath. It helps move all the cells and get things moving in the body. So taking a deep breath, you can see that opening and closing in my body. Okay, so we've kind of taken a snapshot of where we are at the beginning. So let's reset our vagus nerve and then we can check again at the end. So to do this, you're basically going to interlock your hands. Now, I have seen some people do this lying down, but you know, there's so many things that resetting your vagus nerve can help with, and some of those things you might not be comfortable lying down, but you can do this lying down if you want to. But we're going to interlace our fingers and we're going to put them at the back of the head, so we're like not on the neck, we're on the back of the skull, the occipital lobe, if you want to get technical. And I'm not going to push my head forward, I'm just going to like rest my head against my hands. I'm just going to kind of match the energy there. And then what you're going to do is look ahead, and then you're going to try and take your eyes to one side. I always do the right first, I don't know if there's a better way, but you just try and look as far as you can to the one side, and while your fingers are locked together at the back, so just keep your head still. That's always the tricky bit. And just look to the right as far as you can with your eyes. And you'll notice I start blinking quite a bit if you're watching this and not playing along. And then yawn. Okay, my blinking slowed down. So I'm going to come back to centre. And then I'm going to look to the left. Yawned, my eyes are going up and down a lot, and now I'm blinking a lot. I'm just going to wait for things to calm down a bit. And I'm going to come back to centre. I'm actually feeling a little dizzy doing it today, which is interesting. Now, that was quite quick. I do this a lot. I reset quite quickly. You may need to keep looking in one direction for a few minutes. What you're waiting for is for you to feel a shift. So it might be yawning, it might be taking a deep breath, it might be all the blinking suddenly calms down. Like, just pay attention and see, you know, when you feel like you've done enough. You might want to just play with this to begin with, and just, you know, stay in each position for a minute and then build up, and then eventually you'll know within yourself when it's reset. So I can already feel my neck's feeling a little different. It's a bit less crunchy. So obviously pause the video and take as long as you need to do the looking bit, the actual release of your vagus nerve. And then just, you know, just giving it a moment just to kind of come back to center. I'm going to test my neck out again, so you can do this as well. I'm going to look to the right very slowly until I feel that first moment of tension. And now I'm feeling it here, but I've got a lot further than I was before. And if I move my head quicker in that direction, I'm moving further before I feel that kind of wall. So I've still got something going on in my neck in that direction. But if I look to the left, remember last time I was kind of getting to there and I was hitting a wall. So let's see what we get to this time. Ooh. I'm getting all the way over here before I'm feeling like a twist in my spine. Like all the muscles are going. So that's made a massive difference. Now, if I look down slowly, I get a little bit further before I feel that tension in my neck. And I come back to center and looking up. Yeah, it's feeling a lot easier. So my neck's just feeling a lot looser than it was before. And I've reset my vagus nerve. Yay! So it doesn't need to take that long. It may take, the first few times you do this, it may take a few minutes. So, you know, just keep, you know, lock your fingers, put it behind your head, and then just keep looking. And you might need to keep like pushing your eyes to the edge. Like sometimes I stare at something and then I'm still trying to push my eyes further, if that makes sense. And normally for me, I will feel a big yawn and I'm done. But sometimes if my eyes are still flickering away, I'll just hold it longer like I did. So play with it, get to know your body and what it likes. Now, as bonus, let's talk about the neck a little bit more. Because one thing I like doing, and this is something you know, you can play with yourself, and it's a great way of getting to know your body, is to do some fascial unwinding as well. So sometimes I do this like if I'm stuck in traffic, you know, when you're stuck on the motorway and you're not going anywhere, I'm like, oh, I'll just release my neck for a bit, because it's something I can do really easily sat in the car. So you know, if you're ever bored somewhere and you're just in a nice seated position, you can do this. Well, I'm just going to put my feet flat on the floor, and I'm going to just I'm going to sit with my neck, and I'm going to ask it to move and see where it wants to move. And I'm just going to follow the movement. So I'm going to let the fascia, the connective tissue of my neck, unwind itself, because it gets all lots of tension and it's still feeling a bit crunchy and stuff. So I normally close my eyes for this and then just ask it to move. And after a moment, and obviously I've done this for years, so I'm feeling movement to the right. And then it stops. And then I'm feeling it wanting to move backwards, so I just go with it. And you'll move into areas of tension. This is actually quite uncomfortable, but my neck's feeling, you know, safe and secure. Slowly moving through a really crunchy area at the back there. And then it's stopping, so I'm stopping. I'm not really moving my neck. I'm just allowing it, oh now I'll go forward, allowing it to kind of guide me, but it's almost like it's moving itself. I'm just asking it. I'm going into frontness. I'm doing a tortoise look. I'm not going to push it to the end. I'm not going to extend it as far as I can in this direction. I'm just going to allow it to stop itself. And now it's actually pushing back a bit. I'm really trying to release something there. Sometimes I just find you pause in places where there's a bit of tension. And then it kind of releasing. So I'm going to come back to center. Take a deep breath and then see where we want to go next. Moving over to the right. Moving back in. I'm moving a bit faster this time. Sometimes it's, oh, and then we stop. You know, it's like there's no rhythm or rhyme to it. It's not like it's almost like I've hit a wall and we're just, when you start and take a deep breath, sometimes it just helps release what's coming up there. So I'm just going to keep following the movement of my neck. Now, you could practically do this all day, but it's really nice to do it for a few minutes. And obviously I can stop at any time, so like if I'm in traffic and the traffic starts moving, obviously I'm paying attention to the road still. But if you're like, you know, your handbrake's on or your engine's off because you're stuck, that's when to do this, not when you're just sat at traffic lights. Should have clarified that. No, I seem to be going around and around here, but we'll just go with it for a bit. Now, I can sit and do this for like 10-20 minutes. Quite comfortably. I quite enjoy it. I'm just kind of bouncing up and down. And I'm stopping again. Ooh. And I'm pushing into where that edge was. Well, I'm not pushing, the neck is. Just feeling that release. So let's come back to center again. No, immediately I want to go up. So, like, as I said, you could keep doing this all day. Okay, come, let's go back to center. Going into something with it. My mouth had to open as wide as it could then. And I could feel the bones in the roof of my mouth releasing. I could kind of hear them moving. So anyway, you can just be with your body. You could sit on the floor and do this, and actually unwind your whole body. It's a really lovely activity to do. But you can just tune into the neck, and because when we have tension in the neck, it's all the burdens of life and responsibility and things. It's a really nice place to start to release and learn to listen to what your body wants to do, which will benefit you in so many ways. It's listening to those subtle feelings and sensations and following your body when it wants to do that movement, and then it pauses and it's like, okay, let's breathe in this point and then just carry on. Now, obviously, the neck is quite delicate, so we don't want to push it. We just want to see where it wants to go. And you could just start off doing this for a minute and then, build up. As I said, it's a great way of getting to know it, but it's a great way of releasing it. So anyway, let's see what's going on with the tension in my neck now. So if I slowly move to the right, ooh, I'm getting a lot further around before I'm noticing a little crunch, a little tension there. So let's try the left. That was getting a lot better. Ooh, I can practically look over my shoulder now before I get tension. I'm not quite there, but given that we started about there before I got crunchy, that's quite nice. And moving forward, that's feeling so much more ease. And moving up, yeah, just feeling a little tension around the jaw. So you can have some fun with this. As I said, it's a great way of getting to know your body and playing with it. and it's a nice way of relaxing and releasing some of the tension. There's all these burdens of life and responsibility. We need to let them go. So any questions, put them below. This isn't my field of expertise, but I have done some training around this, and it's so lovely to be able to connect with our bodies in these ways and release and relax it, and yeah, have some fun with it, play with it, and go slowly, take it easy, and build up if you want to do more of this type of work. You will learn how your body likes to be. Okay, have a great week. Take care. Bye.